Have you ever felt like you could be smarter? Like tomorrow? Not by following some generic advice you read online, but with a method that's built specifically for your brain? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful way to do exactly that. And it all kicks off with a story that might hit a little close to home. Ouch, right? Imagine hearing that from your middle school math teacher. That's exactly what happened to the author Elizabeth Ricker, and that comment really stuck with her. Mostly because she did struggle with these random days of brain fog and focus issues. It's that feeling so many of us know, of being underestimated or just feeling like your own brain isn't quite hitting its full potential. And that feeling, well, it brings us to something we've all experienced, the brain's off days. You know what I'm talking about. You wake up, the coffee isn't working, you can't seem to focus, you just feel mentally stuck. It's so frustrating, and a lot of the time it feels completely random. So we try all the usual stuff, right? But the truth is that one-size-fits-all advice almost never works long-term. And why is that? It's because our brains are not one-size-fits-all. What's a total game changer for your best friend might do absolutely nothing for you. Our own unique biology and lifestyle mean we really need a much more personal approach. This is where a totally different way of thinking comes into play. It's an approach that puts you back in the driver's seat. It's called scientific self-help, and honestly, it's a powerful alternative to just crossing your fingers and hoping the latest wellness trend is the one. So instead of just passively reading advice, you get to actively test it. You basically become a neurohacker. Think of yourself as the lead scientist in a lab where the main subject is you. You run these quick 15-minute experiments to get actual data on what makes your brain fire on all cylinders. It turns self-improvement from pure guesswork into your own personal science project. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. It's a fair question, right? With a new trend popping up every week, it's smart to be a little skeptical. But this idea, it actually has some surprisingly deep roots in the world of serious science. Check out this number, 14. That's how many Nobel Prize winners we know of who were dedicated self-experimenters. I mean, we're not talking about people chasing fads here. We're talking about giants like Jonas Salk, who famously tested the polio vaccine on himself and his own family first. And this quote from another Nobel laureate, Rosalind Yalow, just nails the whole spirit of it. She didn't just see self-experimentation as a good way to get results. She saw it as the most ethical way to do research. It's all about taking ownership of your own biology in a really responsible, informed way. So how do you actually get started with this? Well, the great news is the whole framework is a super simple plan you could literally start today. All it takes is about 15 minutes. The entire method is just a simple 3-step loop. It goes like this. First, find your target, what you want to improve. Second, you pick your tool, the thing you're going to try. And third, you test yourself to see what actually happened. Let's break that down a little. Okay, step 1, finding your target. You're looking for 2 key patterns. The first is called jaggedness. That's the gap between your different skills, like a brilliant coder who is absolutely terrified of public speaking. The second pattern is wobble. That's the gap between your best days and your worst days doing the same thing. That's our coder who's on fire Monday but can barely string a line of code together by Friday. Finding your biggest bottleneck here is the goal. Step 2 is picking your intervention. That's just a fancy word for the tool you're going to test. And this could be almost anything. It could be high-intensity exercise to see if it sharpens your focus, or maybe using serious games that are designed to boost memory, or even something like using blue light therapy to feel more alert in the morning. You just pick one that seems like a good match for the bottleneck you found. And finally, the most critical part, you test yourself. You track how you perform before and after you try your intervention. Now, the goal here isn't to find one single magic bullet that solves everything. No, it's about building a system, a lifelong skill for understanding and fine-tuning your own mind. And all of this brings us to what I think is the most empowering part of this whole idea. It really changes the way we think about getting better. Look, we're constantly being sold the idea of a quick fix, right? That one special supplement or that one weird habit that will change everything. But the reality is so much more personal and honestly, so much more powerful. The real upgrade, the ultimate brain hack, is the method itself. It's the skill of running these little experiments, seeing what the data says, and slowly building a toolkit of things that are scientifically proven by you, for you. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question. Think about it for a second. What's your jaggedness? What's your wobble? What's one tiny bottleneck you could start with? What's the first experiment you're going to run on yourself?